It's rare that a spinster like me needs a chaperone, Colin. Your friends don't think I'm worthy enough to be a wife. Stay tuned on why Colin suffers from groupthink. All right, welcome to another episode of Claire Haire. We are doing DSM, Disorders of Social Media. Today's episode is going to be talking about groupthink syndrome, GTS, not BTS. So groupthink is basically, I have the operational definition, an assembly of individuals who may or may not share the same opinions about a person, place, thing, or a way for them to lack individuality as well. So today's episode, groupthink, we're going to be talking about Bridgerton season 3. That was it. That was my summary of the preview. But basically, the issue is with Colin and Penelope. Colin and Penelope are basically, they've been friends for the last 3 seasons. Let me stop. But they've always been childhood friends. And growing up, Colin has always seen her as, a confidant, someone to dump his emotional trauma, share friendship with. And then Pen has always seen Colin as, more than a friend, but she knows her place. So I would say Colin's issue with Pen is that everybody knows that, back in the day in the Regency era, which, Bridgerton is also a fictional show, so you can take that for what you may. Size, stature, and status. 3 S's, right? Size, stature, and status. Size of your bank account, status of how people think about you, and of course, stature, going based on body size. So Penelope is a little bit more fluffier, more to love. She's adorable, by the way. I know she's grown, but she's adorable. And I do feel like there is this level of groupthink because his group of individuals, as we go off of the operational definition, his group of individuals, his colleagues do not see Pen as worthy of being a wife not only because of her being a Featherington. Featheringtons, they didn't come from money. They're like middle class, upper middle class compared to the Bridgerton status. They didn't come from that, but also because of the fact that she isn't conventionally attractive. She's more fluffier, and back in the day, being on the leaner, skinnier side was definitely. To me, I feel like slim will always be in because they associate being slim with being young, able to sire multiple kids and stay the same, that's another story. But definitely for sure, association with pretty privilege. I have a whole series about this. I definitely feel like a lot of men back in the day, and even to this day, I feel like a lot of men do marry women based off of their level of pretty privilege because they know with proximity to them, they can get some of those attributes as well, those positives, the perks. Definitely for sure, you are seen as a bigger status, like as someone who has pretty privilege. I can definitely say it is tough some days, which I don't like complaining because you don't want to complain about that because people are going to think you're reaching. But it is tough some days because certain people, they just want to date you just so they can say they dated you. They want to be seen with you just so they can be seen with you. So I feel like Colin in this aspect, I feel like with Penelope, he doesn't want to be seen with someone who isn't what they consider conventionally attractive. And then it doesn't hurt that, it's even worse, the fact that so many of his colleagues don't find her attractive at all. And they've already written her off because, they've already written her off in their mindset, so he can't fight groupthink. Groupthink, to me, I think of groupthink as a hive mindset. I think of it like a wolf pack, almost like whatever everybody has voted on, whether they want to or not, there's no individuality there. They have come to the conclusion that if you go against it, then there's a possibility that you'll be kicked out of it. And like I said, like back in the Regency area, definitely for sure being ostracized or being different was a no-no. Like there was no okay, stick, like here we have like the reverse. We have the reverse where excuse me. We have the reverse here where now it's like anybody who's an individual, anybody who sticks out, now they're being praised more. But definitely for sure, back in the day, Regency era, like definitely for status was where everything. So we're gonna go into real quick pops. So pops is a big thing on TikTok. I think there's a couple of episodes on here. Pops is not your pops. Pops is not Snap Crackle Pop. Pops is basically a show where there's a line of people, mostly young people. I've heard some people when they're like, I'm 34, and I'm just like, this is for children. Please stop. But definitely for sure on Pops, like I've seen like basically they have a line of people and they all have balloons. Then a person comes out for auction. I mean, to show that they want a date, and people start popping their balloons of if they're attracted to the person, something about them threw them off. Now, what I have noticed is that if someone comes up there and she is not conventionally attractive, I have noticed that by proximity, one person will pop, and then the person will pop their balloon as well next to them. And then another thing too, I also feel like this is a way of shaming. Like this is a way of reminding you, like with groupthink, like, okay, well so one person will make fun of the person because the pretty much the whole process with the props is that they'll get the balloon and then they'll pop in, the hostess will come to like, hey, trifling, why did you pop this? They'll go to the person and they'll pop it, and then they'll explain why. They'll be like, oh, well, her feet were awkward, or her outfit wasn't cute, or her hair looked old, or blah, blah. Vice versa with a guy, your outfit was on point, you look dusty, you don't have any moisturizer, your hairline's behind your ears, your hairline is still in 2023. And then afterwards, like I do feel like there is a level of groupthink there, because I'll see one person say something negative and they're like, oh, okay, so we go in on this person, and the next person will like go and go and go and go. And I feel like that also is another thing too that I have written down here, is that there is a lot of colorism, texturism, and featureism at play, because when you sit there and you decide on, as a groupthink mindset, like when you sit there and you decide on, when you sit there and you come to the conclusion that this person is not attractive because everybody in this group has agreed to it, you can't go against groupthink. Like you can go against groupthink. And I've told you guys before, I've had issues with certain fraternities that they have a preference for lighter skinned women. And I've gone to parties, and I promise you, like I've gone to parties dressed to, like when I was in college, dressed to the nines. And I think once it's a quick story real quick. One guy came up to me to try to, I guess, hit on me or whatever. But like once his homeboys followed him, like I guess he stood up in front and tried to talk to me. Once he saw his homeboys coming, like he skedaddled, like he skedaddled out of there, because it's just like, wait, I can't go against groupthink. Everybody thinks, dark skinned women are not attractive, so I can't go up to this one and make the exception for this one, or blah, blah. But I do feel like I can tell you like that feeling is awful, man. Like it's awful, because like, you're top tier, but this person is here to remind you of their mindset. And the thing about groupthink, and I'll go into the issues in a minute, is just the fact that like a lot of the individuals within there, they don't even know why they're doing it. Like I would say psychologically, this definitely goes with DSM, because I'm trying to think how to describe, like it's really psychological, because a lot of people are just like, okay, well, I know I would never do that. I was like, you don't know how groupthink works. Groupthink is literally like your mind rather be compliant than be disruptive, because they don't want to be kicked out of it. And humans have a natural tendency to want to belong. Okay. And yes, there are introverts out there who like, they could literally go to a castle in the middle of earth and not talk to anybody ever again. But like, there is a natural need to belong. Like that's why nerds find fellow nerds to be like, okay, I have this commonality with them. That's why you're on my page. There's some feature that you see in me that you also find either familiar, or there's a feature in me that you want to become as well. So that's why you have that mindset of groupthink as well, where you're just like, okay, well, this is somebody who has similar traits to me. So I want to be around this person to see if I can either develop that action or not. So everybody wants to belong. There's a reason why social media is the machine and engine it is. It's the fact that everybody wants to belong. And groupthink has caused a lot of issues with that. And groupthink on all social platforms, that leads to bullying. And I feel like there's a level of that to each situation. With Pops, I feel like they were being rude, and then I would Colin as well with Pen. So we're gonna go into the issues of groupthink, because GTS to me is a big issue because of the crimes. Like there is a story that I can't share on here because it's a bit graphic, but we learned it in psychology class. And basically there was a crime committed and no one helped this person. And the reason why is because they didn't want to go against the grain. They didn't want to go against the group mindset, the hive mindset of like, hey, we're going to do A, B, and C to this person. And we're going to do A, B, and C to this person. And you're not going to go against the group because you don't want to be ostracized. Like, the way their mindset thinks is that they think of being ostracized and the guilt of doing the action. Those two mindsets are battling each other. You know, there's been plenty of times where there's a party and they're just like, how could this have happened? I was like, I know exactly how that could have happened. They don't want to go against the group. They don't want to go against the mindset of everybody else. Like this could easily happen. And that's a big issue for me, because I am that person. If I see something not going right, even if I don't have the resources physically, I'm weak, y'all. The resources physically to fix it, I will get somebody who can fix it. Okay, I'll get somebody to fix it. I'll call for help, or I'll try to help this person. Like, I really feel like groupthink, GTS is more of a silent disorder, because it's a natural agreement when you're in a group mindset with people. Like, perfect example, something simple as the elevator. So you ever have where you go in the elevator, everybody faces the elevator door, no one faces the backwards of the elevator door? It's because of the fact that even though you don't know these individuals on this place, like, you guys have all the same common goal. Like, we're going to work, we're going to this, we're all going to stand facing the elevator. And it's the same aspect. Like, okay, well, yes, this person did A, B, and C, but we don't want to go against the mindset. It's no different than looting or stealing, like, from a store whenever there's like a blackout or a political unrest somewhere. You'll see one person doing it, and then everybody will keep on doing it. No one stands up and says, hey, this is not right. Like, that level of groupthink is there. And also as well with these fan groups as well, like, you know, a lot of the more newer members of these fan groups are a little bit more aggressive. And I remember just being part of a fan group was just something fun. Like, hey, we all like this person, let's dance to them on Tuesdays. You know, now it's like these people see them as idols. They see them as idols. They see them as like their reasoning, their head. Like, they see them as everything. And if you go against this, like, they will come after you. And that's why I said with groupthink is more dangerous to me. Like, to me, I feel like groupthink is more dangerous in that aspect. But I also have happiness. That's it. I have happiness on here. Like, there's no way you can be in a groupthink situation and truly have happiness. Like, I didn't start really truly achieving happiness till I stopped playing by everybody else's rules. Okay, like, I stopped following what everybody else was doing. I stopped seeing like, okay, well, this is how we've always done it. That's not how Claire's done it. Okay, like, that mindset, like, I truly feel like the opposite of groupthink is happiness. Like, you're truly being yourself. You're truly doing what you think is right. Like, where are your morals at? Okay, so that's why I have my solution here. My first part of my solution is you need to think, because like I said, groupthink is a silent killer. Okay, you need to think, am I doing this because I want to, or am I doing this because everybody else in the group is doing it? You know, like, you got to think about, like, are these my thoughts, or are these my thoughts that have been manipulated into thinking that this is the correct thing to do? I also have, you will be missing out. Like, I used to be that person that would sit there and wait for everybody else to do something before I did it. And that got tiring because I was missing out on doing different events because I was waiting for other people to come with me, getting a good group to go, doing so that like I was missing out, you know. I also have this final point is that, do you yourself want to be judged? Because a lot of people who are in these groupthink situations, like, I think they forget for a minute that everybody can get judged, okay? Everybody can get judged on their aspect, but do you yourself want to be judged, okay? Because one thing I've noticed about these groupthink situations is that they will sit there and attack a person as a group, but then when it's one-on-one, it's a different story. It's a different story, and that's why I said I was like, with groupthink, for sure, like, it's very dangerous, and you guys gotta definitely let me know if you disagree or agree. And don't forget to subscribe, share. It's Claire Haire. Bye.
I feel like I'm losing my mind. Is everybody in the world blind? Please, Lord, give me a sign, a sign. I feel like I'm losing my mind. Is everybody in the world blind? Please, Lord, give me a sign, a sign.
I wanna be the greatest. Everybody on the fake shit. I look around and feel like everybody is the fakest. I make this every day and I'm impatient, hoping one day I blow up from the basement. Statement, the top is so vacant. I don't hear shit that I think is amazing.